I guess Bombay has a very bad perception of Delhi, which is completely wrong. And that's existed from before I was born, and I have no idea where it comes from. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So you liked it?
I love it.
Great. Then we're happy.
It's just completely crazy. So senior advocates from Delhi really weirded out by how casual the juniors are with them in Bombay. We call all our seniors by their first names. Whereas you can't do that in Delhi, and here the juniors in Delhi also call me sir, which is kind of little uncomfortable for me. I'm kind of used to it now.
That also takes us to nepotism.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would want to talk about that.
No, I'm happy to talk about that.
Hi Rahul, it is a pleasure to have you with us today. You told us that you had left engineering and then you entered law and that to litigation. So a lot of people will probably enter the law firm space or the corporate space when they've moved to law initially, especially after switching from a field.
Correct.
What was that particular decision like? Was it instinct or was it something that you had to prove to people around you? What was it like for you?
It's just something that I thought I would really enjoy. Of course, at that time, I had seen lawyers. I had not actually gone to court or sat with a lawyer in his chambers or anything. To me, at that time, being a lawyer meant litigation. Corporate to me seemed like no different from any other office job. Whether it's, nothing wrong with it, but it seemed to me at that time like doing a marketing job or doing any sort of managerial job. Of course, it's not that way necessarily, but that's how I thought of it at that time.
Right.
And for disputes at that time, I only knew litigation. I didn't know about arbitration. So I had decided at a very early age, much before I even entered law school, after I left engineering, that I want to be a lawyer and I want to be a litigation lawyer. I want to be the guy who goes to court and argues cases and does those kind of things. That's what seemed interesting to me. That's what seemed fun to me. And that's something that I really wanted to do.
Lawyers are more like celebrities now. Everybody wants to have an opinion from the lawyers. It's true.
And I think now it's online streaming, so people are also taking clips out of court and sharing them across on YouTube and all.
Yes.
So that's making it more like, you're saying more like celebrity type of thing. Hopefully it won't result in a situation where people are more concerned about those clips than what they're arguing in court. But if that's your concern, then you're not going to do well as a lawyer. So
no, but that happens.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember we were talking about it. When there's a screen in front of you, you tend to look at it and kind of check yourself out what you're looking like and how you're arguing. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And when that keeps happening online, you keep seeing yourself online, you have a perception that you want to build about yourself around that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's an interesting thought. It could happen to a lot of people.
Yeah, but if it happens to you as a lawyer and that's your primary concern, it'll sort of result in you not being a good lawyer anymore, therefore not getting work anymore, and therefore not being in court that much anymore. So it's probably like a downward spiral which will end your career if that's your primary concern. Unless you're somebody who just wants to become famous for going and saying crazy stuff in court. I mean, occasionally that happens, but other than that, I don't think it's helpful.
What's the Delhi and Mumbai connection? Like you work across the space in Mumbai, Delhi, other cities also. What's the legal ecosystem like in both the cities? Is there a difference in the way the bar functions also, and generally the cities? What is your thought on both the cities?
When it comes to the legal ecosystem, the lawyers themselves and the bar itself, I don't think necessarily is very different. The way that the lawyers are. When it comes to the courts, I think Delhi trial courts are definitely much better infrastructure-wise than Mumbai. There's no doubt about that. When it comes to the High Court, the thing is in Delhi, there are 44 judges, I think, in Delhi. And the jurisdiction is Delhi High Court. And the jurisdiction is only of Delhi, not even Gurgaon and Noida, just Delhi. And so they are able to move much faster as a result. Bombay High Court, the principal bench, which is where I practice, has 40 judges sitting there. I'm not talking about the entire court with Nagpur, Aurangabad and Goa. That entire court...
So the structure is definitely different.
Yeah. So so I'm saying the entire court with Bombay, Delhi, Bombay, Nagpur, Aurangabad and Goa together have currently 80 judges, all of them, out of which 40 are sitting in Bombay.
Okay.
So that's the principal bench. So the 40 that are sitting in Bombay, but they have to service the entire... Of course, there's a Kolhapur bench now also, I forgot, sorry. The Kolhapur circuit bench though.
Okay.
So there are 40 judges sitting in Bombay High Court. And they have to service not just Bombay city, like the Delhi High Court has to service Delhi city. Bombay High Court judges have to, I mean, the jurisdiction is for that entire region of Maharashtra. So whether it's the many districts, Raigad district, Thane, there is Navi Mumbai, there is Pune, there is Nashik.
Large state, of course.
Yeah. And so
Maharashtra,
and large populations and full on cities. Like Pune is its own big city. Nashik is a smaller city, but a full city. And there are many such cities. There's, Sangli, Solapur. There are a lot of, now Solapur probably goes to Kolhapur. But there are a lot of big districts, very populated districts that Bombay High Court has jurisdiction for. And there are only 40 judges. So the caseload is way disproportionately higher. So obviously things move much slower in Bombay compared to how fast they move in Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court things move much faster, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Still probably nowhere close to how fast they should be, but for that you would require like 3 or 4 times the number of judges. So the
Efficiency also.
But I mean, definitely efficiency plays a role. But when the system is so overburdened, it's kind of hard to even get efficient. How do you say that, okay, we'll only argue this case will have this time slot of 2 hours. This, you will be given half an hour only to argue. You try to make it efficient that way, or you try. It can't work if the load is so high. So that's definitely a problem. But otherwise, Delhi High Court definitely moves much faster than Bombay when it comes to cases. Cities being different, I guess Bombay has a very bad perception of Delhi, which is completely wrong. And that's existed from before I was born, and I have no idea where it comes from. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. I love Delhi. I come here all the time, and I love the people. I love the city. I love everything.
What do you mean by bad perception?
I don't know. It's like it's like one of my friends who's a lawyer, who, by the way, moved from Bombay to Delhi, who's currently practicing in Delhi. Mihir Joshi, his name is. He told me that it's like, ever since he was born in Bombay, someone has been whispering into his ear, Delhi sucks, Delhi sucks, Delhi sucks. Okay, and it's literally that way. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's like,
Delhi. I don't think Delhi people think like that about
they don't
Bombay.
at all, by the way. They don't at all. What Delhi people think about Bombay is actually completely correct.
Yes.
In the sense of they generally like Bombay. They like the people from Bombay.
It's a beautiful vibe.
Yeah.
Yes.
The perceptions that they have also about Bombay are correct. Like, they say that, okay, it's more commercial oriented, it's more professional also, that kind of stuff, faster.
Decision making.
All that kind of stuff. And that's fine. I mean, Delhi has no such thing about Bombay. I have no idea where this came from, how it started, what happened. And the media and all in Bombay also encourages it. I remember growing up also, you'll see some crime happens in Bombay and you'll see the headline in the newspaper, like Bombay newspapers like Midday or Mumbai Mirror or whatever, would say on the front line, are we becoming like Delhi will be the headline, or is Bombay becoming like Delhi? What kind of a headline is that? It's rubbish. What kind?
Oh my God,
Yeah. So I think that's completely misconceived and
also
nonsensical.
the way Mumbai people speak, Delhi people speak, that's also discussed a lot. Not necessarily in the bar. I mean, just having a generic conversation.
Well, I don't think there's anything different other than the language. I think Bombay, you have a lot more English spoken everywhere, and
Perhaps
in Delhi they
that's
speak
why.
a lot of Hindi.
Perhaps that's
But that's no reason. I don't think that has anything to do with why there's this Delhi hate in Bombay. I have no idea where it comes from. It's completely misconceived. It makes no sense.
You liked it.
I love it. I love Delhi.
Great. Then we're happy.
So, yeah. It's just completely crazy. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
But bar-wise also, coming to the kind of way things move, of course, that's one thing. And general mindset is another. A lot of people say that Delhi bar is more cosmopolitan. You may have been exposed more to it because you've seen both sides.
Yeah.
And Mumbai and Delhi are like the main, metro cities in the country.
Yeah.
That's why I asked this question. Is the bar also, the standard of lawyers also different? Is the conservatism more in one bar versus the other? Because I feel like one system may be closed and one system may be more cosmopolitan. Is that true? People say that, it's very difficult to enter that space, that bar in Mumbai. It's very elitist. Is that true?
I think it was before my time. Sort of the way that you're describing. It was hard to enter this kind of, although there are hundreds of examples of top lawyers who entered just coming from anywhere. And I mean, my senior's father, KK Singhvi, he just came and he couldn't even speak English properly, ended up becoming one of the biggest lawyers he came from Rajasthan,
Yeah.
ended up becoming one of the biggest lawyers in Bombay. Like when he passed away, he was in the top 5 in Bombay.
Oh.
So, I mean, there are examples, but I think from what I've heard from seniors and just generally perception is that earlier it used to be the way you're describing. It was hard to enter and this and that. And also, I think at that time, the Bombay bar was considered like far superior to other city bars, like including Delhi. I don't think that's the case anymore, both ways. I think that the bar is equally good in Delhi as Bombay. And I guess you get a lot of lawyers from around India coming to Delhi mainly because they want to practice in the Supreme Court and now other tribunals also, like you have NCLAT also in Delhi, stuff like that. So you have lawyers moving, I think, but mainly you have these senior advocates from around the country moving for the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And once you're here, you'll obviously do Delhi High Court cases also, you will do NCLAT cases also, you will be around in Delhi. I guess that plays a role in making it more cosmopolitan. So if a young lawyer from Chennai wants to practice, there will be many seniors in Delhi from Chennai
Yes,
who
true.
he can join. There'll be many lawyers from Hyderabad who, a kid from Hyderabad wants to join. So I guess in that sense, it's an easier route. But Bombay is no longer that way. If you're from any city and you're good, you will find space in seniors chambers in Bombay. In fact, my own junior is from Calcutta. So
Oh,
she moved to join me.
to
To
Mumbai.
join me in my chambers. Not even like I didn't know her at all until she moved here to join me.
Oh,
So,
great.
for example, like
So you're saying that both may be
Yeah.
cosmopolitan,
yeah,
but because there is Supreme Court here and the other
Yeah.
tribunals, so there is more pool
yeah,
of various regions of people or
Correct.
people from various regions. A lot of people say, we call our seniors by first name,
yeah.
but in Delhi it doesn't happen.
So that's actually a huge difference between the bar. I mean, now that you pointed it out, I
Yeah.
realize that's a huge difference. So we call all our seniors by their first name, and all our juniors and juniors in general at the bar also call us by our first name.
So regardless of the age gap.
Regardless, their first names. And in fact, seniors in Bombay will stop you from calling them sir and tell you to call them by their first name, sometimes by their pet name. So you're talking about some like real big time senior who may be 70 years old asking you to call him by his pet name. So you can imagine what it's like. Like you can imagine calling Iqbal Chagla, who was probably one of the biggest lawyers in the country, Mickey.
Wow.
Which, I mean, come on. And so definitely that's there in Bombay. We call all our seniors by their first names. Whereas I mean, for example, Venkatesh Don is called Venki and all that kind of stuff. Whereas in Delhi, even the juniors call me sir, which kind of gets a little uncomfortable sometimes for me, but I'm used to it now. And I absolutely cannot call the seniors in Delhi by their first names.
Yeah.
I have to call them sir, and everybody calls them sir. So that's definitely a huge difference. I don't know if that necessarily changes the equation in any ways. You still respect your seniors equally in Bombay.
Absolutely.
But the language is very different. The way you talk to them, even the way they expect to be treated and the way they talk to you is treated in language, not in behavior.
Yes, yes.
Is very different in that sense. It's more casual over there in the language.
Right.
But otherwise in friendliness, openness, casualness in behavior and all, the seniors in Delhi are equally good and cordial and friendly and good with you.
You hold very outright views,
Yeah.
and it's great because a lot of people don't do that very often. They don't want to speak up, especially in earlier years of their
Correct.
practice. Is that something that you've always done? Shuru mein, don't speak too much. Take a little bit of a backstep with your views and opinions, even on social media. So tell me something about that. Are you outright on social media also, or about political views? Is that something you genuinely take a backstep on?
So I'm not on social media
Oh.
as such. Occasionally I would scroll Twitter. I don't even do that anymore. I never made an Instagram ID, nothing. So I'm not on social media, but I've always been very open about my views and straightforward, I think, throughout my life, ever since I was a kid. I think it comes from a place of being honest with yourself, genuinely. I think if you're honest with yourself, then it's easy to just be honest with what you think. And I know this is the conventional wisdom. I found being honest has served me well so far.
Yeah,
I
it
think it's
does.
helped me, it's helped my career, it's helped everything.
Yes.
I've said what I believed. Of course, I'm not saying just spew out very hardcore opinions without having any knowledge or information about the subject you're talking about. Oftentimes, someone will ask me about something that I have no idea about, and I'll preface it. I'll say, hey, based on what you're saying, this is how I think, this is what it should be, but I don't know anything about the subject.
Right.
So, but other than that, I'm fine saying whatever I want to. Without being like rude or malicious or something like that. But
you wanted to build a practice of your own, and you also said in the past that you have to jump in the space of litigation,
yes,
and the work will then come.
yes.
Where is that conviction coming from?
I think it comes from a conviction which I've held. Again, I don't know. It comes probably from a mix of genetics and 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 what is it called? Where you've conditioning. It comes from a mix of conditioning and genetics, and I think that's the case for everybody. There are people who are 100 times bigger risk takers than me in a positive way. I'm not talking about like gambling and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking, there are people who are 100 times who have like, they've had 10,000 rupees in their bank account and they've spent that in trying to do some business and succeeded and become like huge crorepati's now. But and if a lot of people, if you watch their interviews and their videos and their stuff, they say things like that. I moved cities with nothing in my pocket. I just had to build something. Many times they have a wife and kids, and they still do that.
Yeah.
So where does that come from? It probably just comes from self-belief. Now, where does self-belief come from? Probably it comes from conditioning and genetics.
It's obviously
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah.
Because some people are more inclined towards
Yeah.
stability and other things, ambition included, but
Yeah.
other people prefer to take more risks.
Yeah.
And then they just jump,
Yeah.
regardless of the
Yeah.
consequences.
Yeah.
So that is definitely nature. I think
Yeah.
it's very individualistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had 3 children. I mean, not that it's something that is out of the box completely, but we did see recent news that India's fertility rate is dropping or something like that, right?
Yeah,
People having
just
less
now.
kids or
Yeah.
no kids at all.
Yeah.
And there's this whole term now called dinks,
Yeah.
right? Double income.
I was
no
recently
kids.
introduced to that.
Yeah. So a lot of people are choosing not to have kids, urban elites especially.
Yeah.
And you chose to have 3 kids.
Yes.
That's another risk. So tell us something about that. I mean, was that something you thought that okay, fine, it doesn't matter, or because a lot of people are choosing not to have families also, which is bad.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely bad for the country, bad for society. But I think there are many socio-economic studies on this. As a country and as a population gets wealthier and even gets more educated, they end up having less children. Now, why that is, I don't exactly know, but that is how it is. So, as a population gets wealthier and gets more educated, they end up having less children. And that's what you see in the entire world with the countries. As they get wealthier and more educated, they end up having less children. And that's exactly what we are seeing in India. It should be, like when we were discussing, it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
And also, on an individual level, oftentimes the reason given for not having children is financial.
Yeah.
That, I don't have the finances, or I want to be financially stable. I don't think I'm stable enough. And then maybe they feel like by the time they are, it's too late or whatever. And oftentimes, if you talk to a person also generally and say, why do you think people are not having kids? They say, in this economy, or with this kind of economy, or with this kind of
world that we live
expenses and world that we're living in. Yeah.
And I don't want to make fun of anybody here.
No, it's okay. I mean, I make fun of that all the time. Like, I have 3 kids, man. So, like,
do your friends disagree with that choice?
Nobody. I mean, it's not polite to disagree with someone who has 3 kids that way. But if I definitely make fun of the, so nobody does that. But I know some of them may believe that. I completely find that ridiculous, the world that we live in also. We probably live in the best time in history, firstly. So I don't know what that even means. But on an individual level, people do genuinely feel that their finances are not good enough to have kids. And that, of course, there's nothing to make fun of. But the point is actually, if you see any sort of socio-economic study, it's the opposite.
In fact, there was this opinion on X also I was reading when this whole news was circulating, that it is not a woman problem, it is a
No.
men problem. Women are choosing not to have kids more than the
Yeah.
men, because it is very difficult on the women, and that opinion was also
Yeah.
being said out on X.
Yeah.
Recently, CJI had said something about the youth,
Yeah.
and it was not a generic statement
Yeah.
for the youth. He was basically saying that people who have nothing to do, they join like media and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah, yeah.
become RTI activists. So there's a lot of conversation going on around that, and now there's a whole youth or a so-called youth
Yeah.
movement, whatever you want to call it, out there. Do you have an opinion as a young lawyer
Oh
on
yeah.
it? Yeah?
There are two different things. I have an opinion on both things. I don't have an opinion much on the CJP, other than the fact that, like, there are certain questions to be raised. Like, for example, just this morning I saw that apparently Justice Kajju has questioned where their financing comes from, and he said it could be from foreign sources. Now I don't know how true any of it is, but if that is the case, then definitely it should be looked into, and it's not something good. Otherwise, if that's not the case, if there is no foreign funding and it's completely organic and homegrown, then every person has the right to take up any issue they want, whether you agree with it or not, whether you find it stupid or not.
There was a handle which had tweeted
Yeah.
about the funding,
Okay.
but it wasn't verified. So I'm not
Yeah.
going to specify that it was definite.
Yeah.
So allegedly, it was stated in that tweet that the funds are coming from a specific Boston,
Okay.
no, some company which is US based,
Yeah.
to the chief spokesperson's account.
Okay.
So I don't know how
Yeah,
true
yeah,
it
yeah.
is, but I saw one of those tweets.
Yeah. So if that's the case, definitely it should be shut down. Like, there shouldn't be any foreign funding into our domestic politics and in our fanning like any issues in India and causing trouble. Definitely not. If it turns out that it is organic and everything is here, then okay, everyone has a right to do everything they want as long as it's non-violent, and you protest as much as you want for the rest of your life. Do that, no problem. I mean, so like, yeah, I mean, in that sense, what Justice Suryakant said is correct.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I find what he said to be true, and he was actually talking about these people who come with fake degrees and fake qualifications, and then they enter the legal profession, start causing trouble there. They enter the media profession. That's what he clarified, at least. They enter the media profession, they enter this activism and stuff like that with fake qualifications, fake degrees, stuff like that. And they end up, just creating trouble and attacking everybody and stuff like that. Now, whether the word cockroaches should have been used or not, I don't know. It was funny though. I mean, I don't know if.
So I
if
thought
it
that he
was-
shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the word cockroaches is what you mean, right?
I mean, yeah, to use that word for
Correct,
anybody,
correct.
especially when you're sitting at that
The word
stature.
cockroaches, correct. That I would agree with you. Maybe don't say cockroaches or anything of that nature. Don't say like rats or cockroaches or something, because it's also like dehumanizing and has a sort of like
Yes, it's
vile
dehumanizing.
taste to it. It has a vile taste to it, and then of course people can also run with it and say things like, Nazis dehumanized people. This is like Nazi talk and stuff like that.
That
so,
is too
so
far.
yeah, that's too far.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that that's obviously too far. But, and anyways, the Nazis did a lot of things. Doesn't mean everything that the Nazis did makes you a Nazi. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yes.
Nazis also were breathing oxygen. Am I a Nazi because I'm breathing oxygen?
And a lot of people say they are socialists.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the party was National Socialist.
Yeah.
But so I mean, there are a lot of things. So that's too far. People just like to say anything that the Nazis did and say, oh, this is like Nazism, which is ridiculous. I mean, Nazis did a lot of things which even we do. Like, so that doesn't. So, but what I was saying about the remark, yeah, maybe the word cockroaches should not have been used. But what he was talking about is a real issue. I mean, these people who come and come with these fake degrees or fake qualifications and start creating trouble, because that's kind of all that they have to do. They don't have anything like really else to do. So yeah.
But what I was thinking was कि
Yeah.
judicial restraint नाम की कोई चीज होनी
Yeah.
चाहिए in
Yeah.
terms of, that's my broad view
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
judges.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd share it with you also. I think that judges should speak less,
Yeah.
do more.
Yeah.
That's
So Justice Suryakant has been speaking his mind throughout his career. It's just that now he's the CJI, so all cameras are on him.
Yes, true.
Otherwise, he's been this way throughout. Okay.
Throughout.
And it's not just stuff like, okay, says a lot of very good things, encouraging things to young lawyers and all also, just across the, the bar, which maybe no other judges would do. So it's both ways. I mean, sometimes, but because of that kind of personality and mindset and attitude which he has, he ends up saying things that get him into trouble also, like this. Not into trouble officially, into trouble in the media and in society. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everything gets reported now.
Exactly.
Na? So, and I think that in a way, whatever was said in the court was also exploited
Yeah.
by a lot of people.
Correct.
And fine, CJP may, whatever affiliations it has or it may not have, let's see how it pans out. But the point is that a lot of back-end exploitation is also happening now. It's politicizing the whole thing now. And the voices that are actually being raised should be raised for specific issues.
Definitely.
And not for like politicizing the whole thing. So I think that people are now reacting more than they're understanding.
Correct.
And is that something you also think in the legal space? Because a lot of people give their views about a judgment sometimes, or a judge, they impute motives, and then they'll say कि sellouts hain.
Correct.
So what do you think about that?
So when it comes to this specific thing of people saying that, oh yeah, the judges are sellouts and reacting to every judgment and attributing motives to it and stuff like that, definitely that's happening more. But that's also happening, obviously, as a result of there being much more media, like, lots more media outlets. Like, you have your company, for example, and there are many companies which have this online presence, and the views and the counts that they get way surpass the traditional media, or at least are competing with traditional media. So because of that, of course, you have a lot of people who have the opportunity to say this. But I would say, as a result of this, other media, I don't know, I think they call it alternate media or something, but it's actually the new media. It's going to take over the traditional media completely. I mean, because of the new media, actually, you're having a lot less, the society as a whole is a lot less reactionary and a lot more understanding, I think. And it's becoming even more understanding and less reactionary, because nowadays, because everybody has access to the source material, and everybody has access to various opinions, and everybody has access to people who are knowledgeable about that subject, or who may have been part of the subject which is being debated. People are able to form much better, for what I mean is, nowadays people are much more likely to say, if somebody comes and tells them, hey, this person is wrong, this person is right, or this person said this, they are much more likely to want to watch the video of that person saying it.
Yeah.
The full video.
Humanized content.
Yeah, so they want to see the whole video of what that person said. Then, so they get the full, like you said, they get the whole humanized context. Whereas what used to happen in the old days is, the news would show a 2-minute clip and give its opinion about that 2-minute clip.
Yeah.
And that's all the entire country or the entire world had to go on. So you could very easily, and the more far back in the past you go, the more completely controlled was the public opinion by the media.
Yeah.
And so they were able to react very viciously and strongly, immediately, to everything. And the entire population would also react with them. Whereas, for things that would be considered today small, big politicians have had to resign in the past. Stuff like that. Now, today, people are like, no, what is his opinion?
Yeah.
What actually happened? What does the other person have to say about it? What does he have to say about it? Is the person throwing the accusation correct? What is the background of the person throwing accusations? What is their motivation? Where is their funding coming from?
Yeah.
What is their contact? People examine all these things much more today. Yes. So I feel, as a society, we've become much more understanding. And I would say that's all thanks to people like you, who are doing these kind of, who are doing these kind of other media companies, where you're able to bring senior advocates over here. You're able to bring Mr. Vaidyanathan, I saw, who spoke about the entire Ram Mandir and his opinion and about the case and about stuff, Earlier, you would get your information only about that subject from the news anchor and the clips that they want you to know, compared to what you had access to before.
Yes, even in the last 5-6 years, I'll give you an example. So sexual harassment, prevention of sexual harassment is something that I work in.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of trainings for a lot of companies. Now, a lot of people will want to talk about the balance of rights.
Correct.
As against earlier, it was more gender-centric.
Yeah.
How protections are offered
Correct.
to women.
Correct.
So, I don't know if it's a positive thing or a negative
Yeah.
thing, but now people want to know about the balance of rights. They
Exactly.
want to know हमारी rights का क्या, हमारे protections का क्या,
Yeah.
the other gender also.
Yeah.
So it is great because the discourse is elevating in a way.
Absolutely.
People are more aware.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, I get what you mean there.
And doing it both genders actually has the benefit of, I mean, in terms of, no, I'm not saying like have a posh for men also, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying having, looking at it like, is the victim or the person who's making the allegations, are they genuine, are they not, being open to the possibility that it may not be genuine,
Yeah.
is actually much better for the women who are actually subject. And they are, I mean, women are very, you know better than me, I'm sure, women are very often subject to sexual harassment in the workplace. There's no doubt about it. I mean, anybody who says no is talking nonsense. But the fact is, the genuine ones who are actually subject to it are much more likely and benefit much more if you have an open mind where you actually say, hey, you know, there are people who make false allegations also to benefit their career or whatever reason, to get revenge or whatever. Be open to that. I think it makes much more sense and it benefits the true victims much more. Much more.
So it was a closed conversation, at least this limited space that I am talking about. And that has opened up now. And it's a lot to do with alternative media, I think. Because the mainstream media is not very open to this thought even now. That false complaints happen or malicious complaints happen across the board in sexual violence cases. We had a great conversation. Rahul, I want to take some rapid fire questions with you, if that's okay. So let's go on to them first. One thing Mumbai gets right.
One thing, Mumbai, I mean, you're
As a
talking
city.
compared to Delhi or just in general?
Just generally.
In general, I think it's to go back to our conversation earlier, it's the country that supports entrepreneurship and building your career and, you know, commercial and professionalism much more than any other. One of the best in the world, I would say.
So you would say professionalism-wise?
I would say professionalism-wise, career-wise, as being supportive of entrepreneurship, business, this and that. It's probably even more than today New York and London are today. I don't know compared to like Shanghai and all that, but or Tokyo and all those things, but compared to New York and London and all, definitely I would say Bombay is even better in those aspects.
I also feel that.
Yeah.
I think the decision making in the fast thinking approach, fast decision making approach is definitely there in that city. One thing Delhi gets right.
I think Delhi gets right. I mean, in terms of infrastructure, roads, this, that, everything is amazing here. Houses are amazing here compared to like apartments in Bombay. In terms of those things, I think Delhi definitely gets right. There's no doubt. Schools also have big, huge campuses. Colleges have big campuses. I mean, all those things. I mean, this podcast studio is also like really big, you know, compared to studios in Bombay. I'm not kidding. Like, podcast studios in Bombay are one-third this size.
The space is definitely a great thing, but then
infrastructure is also better here. I mean, depends on what you mean by infrastructure. You mean like skyscrapers, obviously, Bombay's. Better, but if you mean roads and you mean other things, you mean all those things, I think even cleanliness probably this is better.
Really?
I think so. Wow. I think so. I'm not too sure, but I think so.
Okay, I don't know if you have an opinion about journalists, so let's understand one thing journalists get wrong.
Journalists get wrong. Journalists are very wide categories. So there are journalists of all kinds. There are journalists who get something wrong. There are journalists who get other things wrong. You know, I mean, it's, I don't know how to say one thing that journalists get wrong. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't. I mean, there are journalists who get their understanding of the law completely wrong. Oftentimes, I would say that is what I have seen. Many times, journalists get their opinion of the law wrong. Like, for example, when the farm laws were introduced, journalists were reporting this is the only law which doesn't have any appeal. I think it was the collector or someone who was supposed to decide the dispute. And after that, there are no appeals. And this is the only law which doesn't have an appeal after the decision of the collector. And so now we all know that that's not, lawyers know that that's not true at all. There are so many laws where there is no appeal. What do you do in that case? You file a writ petition in the High Court against the order. And the High Court entertains you because there is no appeal. So, I mean, and this is just one example that I remembered. And I remembered this because I was watching Gautam Patel talk about this, where the journalist got this wrong. So I remember it as a topic. But oftentimes the journalists get the laws completely wrong and their understanding of the law, get their understanding of what happened in a case completely wrong. But they're not lawyers, so I mean, they're doing the best that they can. I get it.
Okay. What's the most expensive mistake you've ever made that wasn't financial?
I don't know, man. I would say that would come down to relationships.
You also said that relationships over networking
Correct.
in the past.
But by
And when it comes to work, especially, I mean, that's not
Yes.
something that you have to deliberately run
Yes.
after, the
Yes.
networking part.
Yes.
And relationship building
Correct.
is the main thing.
Correct.
So, anything you want to say about that when it comes to work also, or building something at work?
Oh yeah, absolutely. What I mean by that, by the way, relationship over networking, and of course, people can mean different things when they use those words. But what I mean is that if you have good, deep relationships with other lawyers or with your clients even, or whoever, you have good, deep relationships, you're more likely for them to refer work to you, and help you with your work when you require it, than if you are sort of going to conferences or going around trying to meet as many people as you can and trying to get as many phone numbers and business cards as you can and trying to sort of just like meet people for the sake of meeting them and all. If and of course you can use networking for building relationships. So you meet some people through whatever networking, then you have to but build those relationships, and you have to build those relationships without trying to get anything out of the relationship.
Very difficult, but
Which is it's not difficult. It's actually easy if you're not focused on the
Money.
outcome.
Yeah.
Money or anything else. Even maybe you don't want money, but you want some sort of leverage in something, whatever, some sort of benefit in something else. But if you're not focused on that and you're genuinely just focused on the relationship, helping the person, having a good time with that person, whatever, just being a human being, if you're more focused on that, you will end up in a situation where it'll help you financially, because they will then help you financially.
True.
So, and who are you going to help financially? You're going to help the people closest to you financially. You're not going to go out of your way to help a random person whose business card you got at a conference.
Yes.
Unless like they are very specialized and you don't have anyone in that field. But otherwise, why would you? You won't. You'd help the people who you care about and like
That's
more.
an important, interesting debate you opened up.
Yeah.
That also takes us to nepotism.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would want to talk about
No,
that.
I'm happy to talk about that.
Because you said that obviously I will want to help somebody
Correct,
I'm connected
correct,
with,
correct.
I'm fond of,
Correct.
and not a stranger.
Correct.
So this also works within all professional circles.
Of course it does. It works in all professional circles and works within everything in life. There's not one place where it doesn't work in life. So anybody who's claiming that, anybody who has a problem with nepotism in the legal field, okay, is unnecessarily focused on the legal field. It is how human beings function. But just because there is nepotism doesn't mean people are not going to be open to somebody from the outside. There are, like I gave you in the start, that example of KK Singhvi, hundreds of examples of lawyers who come from with no background, with no nothing, who make huge careers of themselves, become the biggest lawyers in their courts, their cities, or in the country even. People do that all the time. So two things are there. One is that nepotism exists, obviously, but it exists in everything, not just professions, in everything in life. And it exists even in something which is like so perfectly objective, like let's say like a UPSC exam, where you have to pass that exam, even if you assume the panel is completely objective, fine. But if your parents were IAS officers in the state that you were in, it's obviously their friends are going to help you with the postings, with the promotions and all, without even if they're not intentionally doing it. So in every kind of thing, even no matter how objective you make it, okay, and I have IAS officer friends who complain about this, that some other person whose parents were officers are getting much better postings and getting much better these things, much better chances in the civil services, which is supposed to be super objective, which is the most objective thing I could think of, are getting much better opportunities and everything in their careers compared to them because their parents were officers. So I mean, it happens in everything. It's not
True.
It's not anything.
It's human nature.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not that we are justifying it.
I mean, you can't.
But yeah, I mean, it's systematic. It's systemic, if we can call it that. What is something you've changed your mind about completely in the last 10 years?
I mean, I gave you one example in the start about when Mitt Romney and Obama were talking. My mind completely changed about how people think. But I would say that would probably be the biggest thing. Having children changes your opinion on almost everything in life. Everything that you look at it from a completely different perspective, which you cannot explain to anybody until you have children. You
True
know,
that.
until or a child. Until you have a child, you cannot understand that perspective at all. Suddenly, everything changes. You understand people better. You understand society better. You understand every event or every occurrence that occurs. You view it from a completely different lens.
Yeah.
It changes your opinion on absolutely everything. And what's important as a society, as a country, as a
True.
planet, even it changes.
Okay, one interesting one. What opinion do you hold today that would get you thrown out of a typical dinner party in South Bombay?
It depends on the dinner party. If I like I earlier said that what Suryakant said wasn't wrong, except the cockroaches part was kind of funny. Maybe he shouldn't have said that.
Uh-huh.
You know, now, now that is something which may get me thrown out. It depends on the crowd, depends on the people completely. But generally, people South Bombay or the rest of Bombay, whatever, are quite nice and polite and decent. So they if even if you come with some wild opinions, they are completely fine. In fact, it's quite enjoyable to even discuss these things. So yeah.
There's a
And
perception of elites in all cities. So
yeah.
why
But
I
that's South Bombay is no longer like where all the elites are concentrated. It's kind of changed now. It's across the city. But yeah.
Okay. What is the one life decision you got right much earlier than most people around you?
Oh, much right. I would say, firstly, being sure that I wanted to do litigation, definitely, without having any real experience in it. Just deciding that I want to do litigation, no corporate, khatam. Could have backfired, could have been, but I got it right. That was quite early on. That was right after law school.
Right.
After that, you can say other things like starting my chambers, yeah, but since you asked early on, I would say this is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one last one. Who is a person you disagree with often but still deeply respect?
So many people. I mean, so many people are that way who I disagree with often, who I greatly respect. In fact, I'm a person who does not believe that. I respect people who I don't agree with all the time. I mean, I greatly respect. There's so many senior advocates who hold completely different views from me. So many colleagues who hold completely different views from me. I greatly respect. Since you said respect, it would normally be like obviously people who I look up to and who I think are higher in stature. But yeah, I definitely, I am somebody who completely doesn't have any such problems.
Absolutist views.
No, I may have an absolutist view, but I may not, but I understand the individual is different from the views. In fact, a lot of my friends I have friends from the complete left on the political spectrum. I have friends from the complete right on the political spectrum. And I think because of that personality, I also have clients from the complete left of the spectrum. And I have clients from the complete right of the spectrum,
That's very good to hear. So refreshing,
Yeah.
because usually you hear like absolutist,
Yeah.
moral absolutist words when it comes to any kind of conversation nowadays that's going around. So thank you very much, Rahul, for your time. I really enjoyed this conversation. It was great. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having it. The pleasure's all mine. I've had a great time also. This has been a lot of fun and I've enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.